You write in the book, Harry must be nuts. This is one of the text messages his friends were sending around to each other after Meghan's first introduction to Harry's friends in 2017 during a shooty week. Meghan's podcast has fallen off the charts. She's been criticized for the content. There are rumors that her As Ever launch was...
Tom Bower, long established as one of Britain's most provocative investigative authors, has once again found himself at the center of global conversation due to his reporting on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Bower's 2022 book, Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors sparked intense debate when it was released, citing dozens of sources close to the royal circle and drawing scrutiny from admirers and critics alike. In interviews, including on the Chris Evans Breakfast Show, Bower explained his method. "My whole way of working is find the victims. Find the people who are going to tell you the truth. Who does Meghan not want me to talk to? That's who I've got to find and persuade to talk." He said he reached out to more than 80 sources during research. Despite Bower's insistence that his work is rooted in fact and backed by careful legal review, the narrative he presents about the Sussexes has not gone unchallenged. Critics have accused him of misrepresenting interviewees and sensationalizing palace tensions, and some sources included in his work have contested their portrayal. The public narrative about Meghan Markle has long been a battleground involving media outlets, royal staff, publicists, and high-profile commentators. That struggle, while not a literal silencing conspiracy as your headline frames it, is real in the sense that different actors seek to influence how the public perceives Meghan and Harry, and that contest plays out daily in headlines, interviews, and social platforms. Royal author accounts suggest that strategic silence, whether from palace spokespeople or refused interviews from certain aides, has shaped the flow of information. Independent commentators have noted that institutional silence and repeated patterns can act as quiet signals in the public understanding of royal dynamics, especially surrounding Meghan and Harry's estrangement. In Bower's book and subsequent commentary, he highlights several key episodes that illustrate this public narrative conflict, including staff tensions and media framing during public tours, e.g., the couple's widely covered 2018 Australia tour, where Bower claims backstage tensions were masked by media narratives of triumph. Perceptions of palace influence or restraint. Sources and authors have debated how much senior aides and palace hierarchy shape what gets told. Public disputes over accuracy. At least one journalist whose interview was referenced in Revenge publicly disputed how their remarks were framed. Critics of Bower's portrayal argue his work reflects a royalist perspective that pushes back against the Sussexes' own recounting of events, particularly claims made during their 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey about experiences within the royal family. Bower himself has said he would not have written his book if not for that interview, which he described as disgraceful, unchallenged, without counter-narrative. Other authors have put forward conflicting interpretations. For example, royal author Omid Scobie suggests Meghan never wants to be involved with the British monarchy again, contrasting with narratives of suppression or suppression by palace staff. Meanwhile, other commentators have described the broader achievement and struggles of the couple, noting that relentless media speculation and rumors, from relationship woes to business critiques, continue to shape public discourse around Meghan far beyond any single book. Prince Harry has been building bridges with his father, King Charles, after a highly publicized fallout with the royal family following his departure from the monarchy. The Duke of Sussex stepped down as a working royal in 2020 and subsequently discussed the breakdown of his relationships with the king and his brother, Prince William, in both his Netflix docuseries and best-selling memoir Spare. However, in light of King Charles's cancer diagnosis, Harry claimed in an interview last year that he hoped to reconcile with his father and has since made trips to the UK to make amends. While the future of Harry's relationship with Prince William remains unclear, it's claimed that Meghan Markle's latest move could be an olive branch to the Princess of Wales. Princess Kate celebrated her 44th birthday last week, sharing a deeply personal video on Instagram expressing her gratitude for the natural world. Although members of the royal family often mark birthdays with social media well wishes, many noted that Harry and Meghan did not share a happy birthday message for the princess. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex appeared to hint that Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet could be playing a more public role in philanthropic work. This charitable entity allows the couple and their children to expand upon their global philanthropic endeavors as a family, read the official statement from Archewell Philanthropies. Insiders have been left confused by the Sussexes' decision, telling royal expert Richard Eden that Harry and Meghan were always so insistent that their children would be able to make their own way in life, without the pressure of expectations or titles. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are one of the most talked-about couples in the world. And from Prince Harry's steps towards peace with the Mountbatten Windsors, to the success of Meghan Markle's luxe lifestyle brand, as ever, the A-listers continue to make headlines. It is, of course, their family life that attracts the most attention, with the Duke and Duchess being parents to Prince Archie, 6, and Princess Lilibet, 4. However, despite the interest around them, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have set firm boundaries, shielding their children from public life and even obstructing their faces in photographs to protect their privacy. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced the rebranding of their non-profit organization in December, changing its name from Archewell Foundation to Archewell Philanthropies. This charitable entity allows the couple and their children to expand upon their global philanthropic endeavors as a family, read the official statement from Archewell Philanthropies, hinting that Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet could soon be playing a more public role. And while the news of the Sussex children's potential involvement has been well received, friends of the couple have expressed surprise, with it signaling a major parenting change from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Contact me with news and offers from other future brands. Receive email from us on behalf of our trusted partners or sponsors by submitting your information. You agree to the terms and conditions and privacy policy and are age 16 or over. Jenny Proudfoot is an award-winning journalist, specializing in lifestyle, culture, entertainment, international development, and politics. After working at Marie Claire UK for 7 years, rising from intern to features editor, she is now a freelance contributor to the news and features section. Prince William is said to have a carefully considered strategy in mind when it comes to the long-term futures of his brother and sister-in-law, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, within the royal family. Although the Duke and Duchess of Sussex stepped down as senior working royals in 2020 and relocated to California, they have retained their royal titles. However, following the recent removal of titles from Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Sarah Ferguson, speculation has intensified over whether Harry and Meghan could eventually face the same fate. Several royal commentators have suggested the Sussexes are now in a vulnerable position. Royal author Tom Bower has previously claimed Harry and Meghan are living on borrowed time when it comes to their status, a view echoed by royal expert Tom Sykes. Speaking to the Daily Beast, Sykes suggested that when William eventually becomes king, he could move swiftly to issue new letters patent to redefine or remove princely titles from non-working royals, potentially including the Sussexes. Despite this, other experts believe William is unlikely to make such a move a priority. Commentator Afua Hagen argues that stripping his brother of titles would not align with William's wider vision for the monarchy. "I don't think he's that petty," she said. "I don't think he's got time to do that, and he doesn't want that to be the focus of his reign." Why would the headline be, "The first thing I'm going to do is take away my brother's titles"? There are so many other things the royal family needs to do to modernize. Taking away people's titles for living their own lives would just seem silly and petty, so I don't think he'll do it. According to observers, William's clever plan may simply be allowing time, public opinion, and constitutional realities to shape Harry and Meghan's position naturally, rather than forcing a dramatic showdown that could overshadow the early years of his reign. Amid recent speculation that Prince William could one day strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles, a royal expert has divulged the one reason why the future king would never take that step. Since Andrew and Sarah Ferguson were stripped of their titles, speculation has increased that one day Harry and Meghan could meet the same fate. Prince Harry, 41, has retained his titles despite having some strained relationships with the royal family and spending the last 5 years living in California with his wife, Duchess Meghan, 44, and their 2 children, Prince Archie, 6, and Princess Lilibet, 4. Relations might have somewhat thawed with King Charles in recent months, but it's well known that Harry and his older brother, Prince William, have not seen eye to eye for a long time and aren't in contact. Some significant diary clashes between the 2 siblings have seen them go head-to-head for the front pages in the last year, with royal watchers speculating that this might not help improve matters between the brothers. With Andrew's titles unceremoniously removed by the monarch in October amid ongoing public outcry over his connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, some royal experts have claimed that Harry and Meghan are equally as vulnerable to losing their official royal status when Prince William takes the throne. Royal author Tom Bower has previously speculated that Harry and Meghan are on borrowed time when it comes to their titles, and royal expert Tom Sykes has echoed these sentiments. Sykes, for the Daily Beast, said that he believes William will be quick to issue letters patent to remove princely titles from non-working royals when the time comes for him to take the throne in what would be a dramatic change. There would be some precedent for a move like this, with the Danish Queen Margrethe II stripping 4 of her grandchildren of their prince and princess titles back in 2022. She said at the time she wanted to future-proof the monarchy but apologized for the family upset it caused, admitting she underestimated how her son Prince Joachim and his children would feel about the decision. Joachim said at the time, "It's never fun to see your children being mistreated like that. They find themselves in a situation they do not understand." The idea of a slimmed-down monarchy is something that King Charles himself has put forward for many years, keen to cut the costs for the taxpayer and ensure the longevity of the institution. Despite all of this, one royal expert tells the Mirror that in her view, it isn't likely at all that taking Harry and Meghan's titles away would be anywhere close to the top of William's agenda when the time finally comes for him to take the throne. William's been working to end homelessness and took George with him on a recent charity visit, Andrew Parsons/Kensington Palace. This is simply because William has much bigger fish to fry than settling a personal score with his younger brother, even if they haven't been getting on in recent years. The expert commentator Afua Achimponghagen explains that fundamentally, William just is not that petty and shrewdly knows how it would look. Instead, the future king is laser-focused on major issues that affect society and undertaking ambitious, high-impact projects to improve people's lives. For instance, William's Project Homewards, which aims to prove that it is possible to end homelessness in the UK, and the Earthshot Prize, which promotes those who have created innovative solutions to the climate crisis and helps provide a framework to scale them up. Meghan's latest venture, Her With Love, Meghan Holiday Special on Netflix, has received mixed reviews, and there's growing pressure on her as ever Christmas collection to perform in the sales department. Bowers said, "This Christmas is make or break time for Meghan because there are 2 main problems, money and profile. Her lifestyle shows are clearly not taking off. It hinges on how much Meghan can sell at Christmas, and if it doesn't sell, she has a real problem. Are people prepared to pay $32 for a jar of honey from the Duchess of Sussex? If it doesn't work this Christmas, they have a real problem about what they will do in 2026. Meanwhile, there are also claims Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are reportedly planning to call King Charles as the California-based royals, keeping a line of communication open with the monarch. Sign up to free email alerts from OK Magazine Daily News. Read all the latest showbiz news as it happens, plus breaking news straight to your inbox. We use your sign up to provide content in ways you've consented to and to improve our understanding of you. This may include adverts from us and third parties based on our understanding. You can unsubscribe at any time. More info. As the royals prepare for a cozy Christmas at Sandringham, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are out in the cold for what will be their 7th year away from the family celebrations. Despite some signs this year that a reconciliation could be on the cards, particularly for King Charles and Prince Harry, royal biographer Tom Bower claims Christmas is shaping up to be a nightmare for the Sussexes. Harry clearly met his father with the hope that he could ingratiate himself back into the family, but it isn't going to work. There is just no way back for him, Tom told OK. Harry himself said he didn't know how long his father has got, and I think that hangs over him. But I don't think he's that high up on Charles's list of priorities. He continued, and Meghan isn't reconciled with her own family and she never wants to come back to Britain, so her relationships with both families act against Harry's own instinctive interests. The result is they are left in a very isolated place at Christmas. Harry, 41, and the King, 77, met for just 54 minutes at Clarence House in September in what was their first in-person meeting for over 18 months. But any hopes for a reconciliation were dashed when details of the event were allegedly leaked, and Harry's team claimed there were sources intent on sabotaging the reunion. According to Tom, the so-called leak was not the only thing that hurt any signs of progress. He was granted those 54 minutes with the king by the skin of his teeth, but was told that not a word must be spoken about it, he told us. And then he gets on the train to Ukraine and tells a reporter that he has no regrets for anything he said in Spare. Another major obstacle has been Harry's fight to get security for his family while in the UK. He was devastated after losing a court battle earlier this year over the decision to downgrade their protection, and said later he couldn't see a world in which I would bring my wife and children back to the UK at this point. As the royals gear up for a festive Christmas at Sandringham, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex find themselves excluded for what will be their 7th consecutive year away from the family gathering. Despite indications this year that a reconciliation might be possible, especially between King Charles and Prince Harry, royal biographer Tom Bower suggests Christmas is set to be a difficult time for the Sussexes. As the royals gear up for a festive Christmas at Sandringham, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex find themselves excluded for what will be their 7th consecutive year away from the family gathering. Despite indications this year that a reconciliation might be possible, especially between King Charles and Prince Harry, royal biographer Tom Bower suggests Christmas is set to be a difficult time for the Sussexes. For all her distance from royal life, Meghan Markle's connection to her title continues to follow her and, according to one royal commentator, she has no intention of letting it go. As speculation grows over Prince William's reported plans to strip non-working royals of their titles, and after a recent Harper's Bazaar moment once again reignited the debate, fresh claims suggest Meghan sees her Duchess title not as tradition, but as power. And Yale author and expert Tom Bower has weighed in on the debate, arguing that Markle's use of her royal title is both deliberate and strategic. Speaking to the Mirror, Bower warned that Prince Harry and Markle could find themselves vulnerable once William ascends the throne. Yet despite that uncertainty, he believes Markle continues to lean heavily on the very status she once stepped away from. It's a great trading asset, and she uses it ruthlessly and with impunity, he said. Bower also suggested that sentiment plays little role in Markle's attachment to her title.